Hey loves, welcome back to another tutorial. So today's video we'll be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful smoky tiered short dress that you see me putting on. We are also going to learn how to measure this smoky dress properly for all sizes, because most people find this very difficult. It's either it's too tight or it's too loose. So if you want to see how we achieve this style, please keep on watching and don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video. For this tutorial, I'll be making use of this beautiful African print. I have 3 yards of fabric here with me, so if you're on the bigger side, you can use up to 4 yards. But 3 yards is going to be enough for you. And I also have my rubber thread because we're going to be using a different thread for this. So we are going to be drafting our measurements on this pattern paper, because if I use my chalk on the fabric, it will not show very well. So the first step is to add allowances to the normal body measurement before measuring. So I'm going to add 6 inches allowance on my own. My bust measurement is 38 inches and my waist measurement is 32 inches. So I'm going to add 6 inches because I want this dress to fit me properly. I don't want it to be too loose. But the standard measurements you use is 10 inches. If you're on the bigger side, you can add extra 10 inches, but me, I want mine to be 6 inches, so I'm going to also put it on the screen. After that, I'm going to draw a straight line across, just the way you see me doing. I'm going to label this allowance so we know that this is our allowance. So now I'm going to fold this in because we are going to measure the normal body measurement. We are going to draft our normal body measurement, so we are going to fold this allowance in and pretend like it's not there. So we are going to use it later. So now I'm going to draft my normal body measurements on this pattern paper. So we are going to be drafting an off shoulder pattern because this dress has straps, it doesn't have shoulder. So we are going to do the normal take away we do in off shoulder. So I'm going to take away 6 inches and then I'm going to begin my measurements. So taking away 6 inches, I'm going to go ahead and mark my half cut. So my half cut is 16 inches, which is also my waist point. So I'm going to mark 16 inches and then I'm going to draw a straight line across. After that, I'm going to cut out the part I don't need anymore. We are going to add allowance on the fabric, so that's why I didn't add any allowance. So now I'm going to also mark my chest measurement. Still minusing the 6 inches, I marked my chest measurement, which is 8.5 inches. After that, I ruled a straight line across and labeled it chest point. So the next step is to mark my bust point. So minusing the 6 inches, I marked my bust point, which is 12 inches, and then I ruled a straight line across and labeled it B point. So now we have our chest point, bust point, and waist point respectively. The next step now is to mark our shoulder measurement. So I'm going to mark half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches. After that, I'll go ahead and mark my bust measurements on the chest line. So on the chest line, I impute my bust measurement divided by 4. Plus extra 1 inch allowance. I'm also going to do the same thing on the bust point. I'll impute my bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch allowance. After that, on the waistline, I'm going to impute my waist measurement divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch allowance, and then I'm going to connect it all. So the next step now is to adjust our shoulder measurement. Because this is an off shoulder dress, we are going to minus 2 inches from our shoulder measurement. So I'm going to take away 2 inches, just the way you see me doing. And then from that new point, I'm going to connect all the way to the chest point to form our armhole. So I'm going to get my curved ruler and make a curve. So this is going to be our armhole now. So once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and cut off the parts we don't need anymore. So this is our off shoulder top pattern and this is how it looks. So now I'm going to open this up with the allowance that we added earlier. Remember, we added extra 6 inches allowance earlier. So I opened it up and this is how it looks. So this is the extra inches we added so that when we smock this dress, it is going to fit us perfectly. So the next step now is to cut on our fabric. So I'm going to fold our fabric into 2, as you can see. And then I'll get my pattern paper and place this. So just make sure you arrange it properly before cutting out. So this is me trying to arrange mine. So guys, please pay attention to this part so you don't get confused. So this dress is going to have 2 parts. So now minusing that 6 inches we did earlier, I'm going to mark the first part. So the first part is going to be about 28 inches because the full length of this dress should be about 35 or 34 inches because I want it to be very short. So the first part is going to be 28 inches. So I'm going to mark 28 inches just the way you see me doing. So once I'm done marking, I'll cut off the parts we don't need anymore. The next step now is to cut for the back piece. So I'm going to place this on another folded fabric and cut for the back piece. So once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and proceed to cut off. Here we have the front and the back piece. So now we are going to measure out this according to how we are going to smoke it. So remember we minus 6 inches. So still minusing that 6 inches, I'm going to measure out 16 inches, which is our half cut. That is our waist point, if you remember from our pattern. So this 16 inches point is where the smoking will stop, because that is our half cut. And then the rest will be the first layer of the gathers. I don't know if you guys understand this. Because by the time we smoke all the way to that 16 inches, which is the half cut, the rest is going to have a gather effect, and that will be the first layer. So now I'll go over to the sewing machine to pipe the neckline and the armhole, just the way you see me doing. So this is how we are going to smoke this. Remember we are taking away 6 inches, so I'm going to stop at 16 inches. So I'm going to smoke all the way to that 16 inches, and then I'm going to stop. So here I was done piping the neckline and the armhole, and it's looking very neat. I would advise you do this before smoking because it makes your work look neater. This is the rubber thread that we are going to be using. I think I got this for about 200 or 250 naira, but it is very cheap and you can get it in your local market. So this is how we are going to be using this rubber thread. You put it only in your bobbin, just like you see me doing, and then you are going to put it in your bobbin case as usual. So this is the only place where you add the rubber thread. So here I'm going to use my normal thread on the top, and the rubber thread is going to be on the inside. So now I'm going to start smoking this. I'm going to be doing it line by line. You can measure it half inch apart or 1 inch apart, but mine I'm just going to eyeball it the way I want, and then I'm going to do this all the way. So this is the stressful part. If you're using an industrial sewing machine, it's going to be easier for you. So once I'm done with this first line, this is how it is going to look. Don't worry, it's not going to be stretching at this point, but it will still stretch. So just continue. Don't be discouraged and say, oh, this is not stretching. It's still going to stretch. So you do the second line, do the third line, and do the fourth line. This is how you continue to do all the way to that 16 inches where we are going to stop. So this is how it looks so far. It's already coming up. So as you're sewing, it's going to continue stretching. So the more you sew, the more it stretch. So this is what I'll do all the way to the 16 inches. So once we are done, this is how it looks, and it's stretching already, as you can see. This is how yours is supposed to be looking. If it's not looking like this, then maybe you're doing it wrong. But if you follow this procedure, you're going to get it. So I want to measure this now so I will know if we actually got the 16 inches. So remember, we are still going to be minusing the 6 inches in any measurement we are taking, because this is an off shoulder. So minusing the 6 inches, I got 16 inches. That is where the smoking stopped. So we're on the right track. So I went ahead to measure the rest of the fabric, so I'll know the amount to cut out when I'm cutting for the second layer. So now the next step is to join the front and the back piece together. So I'm going to go over to my sewing machine now and stitch this all the way through. So we'll join it together and then add the second layer of the dress. So once we are done joining, this is how it looks, and our armhole is sitting pretty. Everything is ready. So now we're going to proceed to cut the second layer of this dress. So this is the piece of fabric I cut out for the second layer. I've gone ahead to hem both edges. It's looking this short because I want this dress to be very short, and it is very, very long. I did not measure the width. I just used the rest of my material. So I'm going to be gathering this all around the first layer. So this is how I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to place this on top of this first layer, and then I'm going to gather it like that. So guys, I'm done with the gathers. As you can see, this is how it looks, and it is looking so nice. So now the next step for us is to cut out the straps for this dress. So this is the fabric I cut out for the straps. So I don't have any specific measurements for this, so you can just measure how long or how short you want yours to be. So the next step now is to go over to my sewing machine to pipe this. So here I was done piping the strap, and this is how it looks. So I'll go ahead now and attach this to my dress. So I'm going to place this on my dress and pin it all the way through, and then I'll go over to my sewing machine to secure them. So guys, we are done with this dress and it's looking so pretty. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I'm going to respond to you. So if you watched to this point, thank you so much for sticking by, and please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.